There are moments in life when everything seems to come to an end. Goodbyes, tears, silence. But some farewells carry words so powerful that they continue echoing through generations. Genesis 49 and 50 close the story of Jacob, but they also reveal something powerful about forgiveness, purpose, and hope. We all carry marks from our past. Mistakes, losses, regrets, moments we wish we could change. And maybe the hardest part is believing that God can still turn all of it into something good. But the final chapters of Genesis show exactly that. A God who is still working, even through pain, loss, and the wounds of the past. Today we will hear Jacob's final words, the blessings over his sons, the farewell of a father, and one of the most emotional declarations in the entire Bible spoken by Joseph. So calm your heart and listen to this message as if God himself were speaking directly to your soul. Genesis 49, Jacob calls his sons. Verse 1, Then Jacob called his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you what shall happen to you in the days to come. Verse 2, Come together and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel your father. Warning Reuben. Verse 3, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, excelling in honor and excelling in power. Verse 4, Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed. Then you defiled it, you went up onto my couch. Cross-sword Simeon and Levi. Verse 5, Simeon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their swords. Verse 6, Let my soul not enter their council. Let my honor not be joined to their assembly. For in their anger they killed men, and in their self will they hamstrung oxen. Verse 7, Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Crown Judah. Verse 8, Judah, your brothers shall praise you. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons shall bow down before you. Verse 9, Judah is a lion's cub. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who dares rouse him? Verse 10, The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until Shiloh comes, and to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. Verse 11, Binding his donkey to the vine, and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his robe in the blood of grapes. Verse 12, His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Water waves Zebulun. Verse 13, Zebulun shall dwell by the seashore. He shall become a harbor for ships, and his border shall be at Sidon. Horse-faced Issachar. Verse 14, Issachar is a strong donkey. lying down between two burdens. Verse 15, he saw that rest was good, and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to bear burdens, and became a servant at forced labor. Balance scale Dan. Verse 16, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Verse 17, Dan shall be a serpent by the roadside, a viper along the path, that bites the horse's heels, so that its rider falls backward. Verse 18, I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Crossed swords Gad. Verse 19, raiders shall attack Gad, but he shall attack at their heels. Bread Asher. Verse 20, Asher's food shall be rich, and he shall provide royal delicacies. Dear Naphtali. Verse 21, Naphtali is a deer let loose. He gives beautiful words. Sparkles Joseph. Verse 22, Joseph is a fruitful branch by a spring. His branches climb over the wall. Verse 23, the archers bitterly attacked him, shot at him and harassed him. Verse 24, yet his bow remained steady, and his arms were strengthened by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Verse 25, by the God of your father who helps you, and by the Almighty who blesses you, with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep below, blessings of the breast and womb. Verse 26, the blessings of your father have surpassed the blessings of my ancestors, up to the utmost bounds of the everlasting hills. May they rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of him who was set apart from his brothers. Wolf-faced Benjamin. Verse 27, Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the spoil. Folded hands, the death of Jacob. Verse 28, these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them as he blessed them, giving each one a blessing appropriate to him. Verse 29, then he commanded them and said, I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite. Verse 30, in the cave in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite as a burial place. Verse 31, there they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. Verse 32, the field and the cave, that is, there were purchased from the sons of Heth. Verse 33, when Jacob had finished giving instructions to his sons, he drew his feet up into the bed, breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Genesis 50, crying-faced Joseph weeps for Jacob. Verse 1, then Joseph fell on his father's face, wept over him, and kissed him. Verse 2, and Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. So the physicians embalmed Israel. Verse 3, 40 days were required for him, for that is how many are required for embalming. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. Verse 4, when the days of mourning had passed, Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's household, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak to Pharaoh for me, saying, Verse 5, My father made me swear, saying, Behold, I am dying in my grave which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. There you shall bury me. Now therefore, please let me go up and bury my father, and I will return. Verse 6, And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear. Coffin the burial of Jacob. Verse 7, So Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt. Verse 8, As well as all the household of Joseph, his brothers, and his father's household, only their little ones, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. Verse 9, Both chariots and horsemen went up with him, and it was a very great company. Verse 10, When they came to the threshing floor of Atad, beyond the Jordan, they mourned there with a great and solemn lamentation. And Joseph observed 7 days of mourning for his father. Verse 11, When the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning by the Egyptians. Therefore the place was named Abel Mizraim, which is beyond the Jordan. Verse 12, So his sons did for him just as he had commanded them. Verse 13, For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought with the field as a burial possession from Ephron the Hittite near Mamre. Verse 14, After burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers and all who had gone up with him to bury his father. Pensive-faced Joseph's brothers fear him. Verse 15, When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, Perhaps Joseph will hate us and repay us for all the evil we did to him. Verse 16, So they sent word to Joseph, saying, Your father gave this command before he died. Verse 17, Say to Joseph, Please forgive the transgression of your brothers and their sin, because they did evil to you. And now, please forgive the transgression of the servants of the God of your father. And Joseph wept when they spoke to him. Verse 18, Then his brothers also came and fell down before him and said, Behold, we are your servants. Read heart Joseph's forgiveness. Verse 19, But Joseph said to them, Do not be afraid, for am I in the place of God? Verse 20, You intended evil against me, but God intended it for good, to bring about what is happening today, the saving of many lives. Verse 21, So do not fear, I will provide for you and your children. And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Sparkles Joseph's final days. Verse 22, So Joseph remained in Egypt, he and his father's household. And Joseph lived 110 years. Verse 23. Joseph saw Ephraim's children to the third generation. The children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were also counted as Joseph's descendants. Verse 24. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am dying, but God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land to the land he swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Verse 25. Then Joseph made the sons of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry my bones up from here. Verse 26. So Joseph died at the age of 110 years. They embalmed him, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. Genesis ends by showing us something powerful. God is still in control of the story, even when we do not understand the path. Joseph was betrayed, sold, forgotten, but in the end, he realized that God was turning pain into purpose. Maybe today you are going through something difficult, but God can still transform your tears into a testimony. What looks like the end may only be the beginning of God's purpose. If this message spoke to your heart, comment. God turns evil into good, folded hands. And share this message with someone who needs to hear this today. Even when life feels hard, keep trusting, because God is still writing your story.